Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Nicole Frolick of Inflexible Me, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about how the Matrix has manipulated sex to lock up our abundance codes. Now, this is something that I have personal experience with, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I want to share the information with you, my own personal experience, and so that you can start to apply this information in your own healing journey so that you can unlock your abundance codes. Now, if we understand that the sacral chakra, okay, the second chakra is our chakra that is actually correlated to abundance. Now, knowing this, it starts to make sense as to why sex has been manipulated to put us into a form of trauma and lack consciousness, to basically lock up these codes that reside within the second chakra. So let's just quickly go over this. When we think about sex, the ones that really come out that are pretty obvious to all of us of what could potentially cause trauma in this area is sexual abuse. So rape, molestation, any sort of physical abuse in this area. These are forms of trauma that will imprint your DNA and in this whole energy center that starts to close it down. And the reason why it starts to close down is because there's a lot of shame that comes in with these traumas. On top of the fact that usually when something traumatic happens to you, you want to suppress it. You don't want to think about it. You want to push it down. And so you try to make it as small and invisible as you possibly can. And all of that is about closing this whole center off. So that is one way that this whole matrix system locks up our abundance codes. For men and women, and this is kind of, I know that not everyone's going to agree with me on this, but this is my own personal opinion, and that the use of basically the attack through our drinking water, our food system, all of that is also causing, it's basically attacking our fertility through sterilizing men and women in this area. And so for women, more than ever, you're finding that it's harder and harder for you to get pregnant. For men, you're not producing as much sperm, which will impact the ability to procreate life. Creating life is a form of abundance. That is, co-creation in any way is what abundance is all about. And so this is another way that we are being attacked through this sacred center, the sacral center. Another way that we're being attacked is by the push through media, music, advertising, all of this. This idea that promiscuity is some form of empowerment. And I'll be really honest with you guys, because I'd like to be as transparent as possible on this channel. None of us are perfect. All of us have gone through our own journeys. You know, many of us go through into the deepest, darkest depths of hell, basically, sometimes before we emerge and understand and pull ourselves back out, because we needed to go into some more extreme circumstances. For me, after being extremely hurt through a relationship, because I was so deeply hurt through it, I decided to take that hurt, and not realizing that I was actually hurting myself, started to decide to take on this idea of what like Sex and the City started to promote, of this idea of female empowerment through promiscuity. That, you know, if I just was very lenient with who I had sex with, that was somehow some form of empowerment, that I was like standing up for myself as a woman and saying, well, as a man, you may be able to do this, and as a woman, I can do this too. And really, neither are that great. And so through my late 20s and early 30s, that was kind of my attitude. And I actually was hurting myself and locking up my abundance codes even further, because at the end of the day, it really wasn't helping me. I thought it was really numbing me more than anything. And that's actually what happens in the sacral center, is you start to numb the energy down. And, you know, through my own journey and understanding and coming back to love and understanding how sacred the connection of two partners is, that sexual experience that you may have, you start to realize how powerful the energy that two people can create together through sex, especially through the orgasm, how actually divine it really truly is when it's respected and honored with the energy that it should be. Now, when it's not, you can also still create things, but create them on a frequency that isn't actually helpful to you. And so this idea of lowering the frequency of this whole sacral center and how we approach it dampens and dulls the energy even further. Also, when you are promiscuous, and I've talked about this in a couple other videos, you are creating energy cords with every single person that you have ever had sex with. And that energy cord through sex is the hardest energy cord to cut. Okay, it's very, very difficult to it's the strongest one. And that speaks to the power of our sexual energy. It speaks to the power of the Kundalini. Now, when you are, one of the reasons why this is pushed too, is that when you have all these multiple cords with different people, you are now creating an energy transference highway along all these cords into your sacral center, because that's where they're coming, of all of the emotions and different frequencies that all those people are feeling at any given time. And so you actually are at the mercy of whatever they're doing in some regard until you cut those cords, until you create healing in this space and cut those cords. So this is kind of how our energy center, our abundance, is attacked through these ideas. And when you start to take your sovereignty back and you start to understand the divinity of this whole center and of the act of sex and bringing that experience back into union with the sacredness that it was always meant to have, then you start to become aware of how to recover what has been taken from you. So for me, I've been doing a lot of energy work and healing in this center through my own meditations and through my own physical work. So if you are someone who is either working with the divine feminine energies or the divine masculine energies right now in a collective way, this will benefit you. If you are someone who is aware of any sort of trauma to your physical body in this particular lifetime, or any sort of experiences that you've had sexually that would be dampening this energy, this is going to be helpful to you. If you have any past lives that you know about where this was created, this sort of energy traumatizing this area, again, this is going to be very helpful to you. And if you are clearing anything in your ancestral line that revolves around sexual trauma or trauma within this area, then this is going to be very helpful to you. The one way that I was told to work with the energies is to go back to the conception point. So basically going back to the 0 point field. And when you go back to that conception point, that means that you are, you have the ability to transmute the energy and then change anything that's happened along that timeline, okay, for healing. Okay, you start to heal everything along that timeline. So going back to the 0 point is a way of quantum healing for you. And so what I've done, for instance, I'll give you an example. For me, one of the things that I brought into in this lifetime is I brought in through as a fetus, all of the trauma within this area that I was meant to heal through my ancestral lines. And so in order for me to heal it, I actually had to go back to the point of conception in my mother's womb. So in my meditations, I go back in and I picture myself as a little embryo, okay, and watching that whole, and I go right back to that point, and I've brought in Christ consciousness energy, golden energy frequency, into that area and into my mother's womb. And I literally envision this, and I see the energy growing. I see the gold light emanating from me as an embryo, then me turning into a fetus, and completely healing that whole womb space to assist me. Now, as it turns out, that's also something I'm healing within my own body. And so when I start to pull in that healing from the conception point, I'm actually starting to anchor in that healing within my own body. I've also been told to work with, because when we think about in the this energy center as a woman, the womb is the receiver of life. It is the ultimate receiver of life, which means the receiving energies are very important to connect with. As empaths, it's very difficult for us to receive. It's really easy for us to give, but it's really difficult for us to receive. And so I've had to go in there and start to allow myself to be held, bringing in the emotions of being held. And sometimes when I do that, I work with my inner child. I go in and I hold her through my meditations and talk to her and treat her like I'm the mother, okay, and mothering her and bringing in the divine energies that way. But what you can also do is you can go into the point of asking for the primordial mother energies to bathe you basically in that kind of receiving energy of being held, of being nurtured, of being taken care of. All of this work has shown up in physical form for me now, in the form of abundance. So I've worked several times in my meditations while also having some specific healing sessions with other people and receiving healing as well. And every time I do really intense work, when I say intense, I mean that I really put myself into the moment. I bring in every emotion, I allow, and I'm going to talk about that in a second, but I bring in every emotion, I connect the experience like I'm literally there. I believe it in my mind that I'm there. I see everything visually in my mind. I just bring in the vibrancy, the intensity of that actual energy into my now, so that I literally change things at the 0 point and create a quantum healing experience for myself. And every time I do that, I see spikes in my business. I see spikes in my traffic, whether it's on my YouTube channel or my website. I see spikes in my physical experience. So seeing the actual healing showing up immediately through ways that I know, because I know my body so well, certain things that I'll know. And then, you know, just seeing this, and every time it happens, it's immediately after I've done one of these sessions. And so in an Akashic Records session with my dear friend, Rebecca Barfoot, who I love to death. Rebecca, big shout out to you. Anyone of you are not following her channel, please do. Rebecca Barfoot, Sirius Blue. She is incredible at what she does, and she's been integral to my healing journey. So I just want to give a huge shout out to you, because it's just been so amazing. Now, one of the things that I found out through an Akashic Records session with her is that indeed our sacral center, the abundance codes, are locked up through this matrix of sex trauma. And so when I asked, is there a correlation? I mean, I kind of knew, but I wanted to just double check. Is there a correlation here between my healing and the abundance that I'm starting to notice coming into me without me doing anything else? And I got a resounding yes. And it's specifically because the matrix does lock up our abundance codes. And so what I've been doing through my own healing is unlocking them. And when you unlock this whole center, your ability to attract and align with that abundant energy becomes so natural to you again, because that is an inherent energy of love. Love is naturally abundant. You start to align yourself with exactly where you were meant to be in the inherent creation of you, of what Creator intended for you. And that is all about love. So I really wanted to share this video with you guys so that you can start to maybe use some of these concepts and apply it into your own meditative experience. See if it can show up for you, how to work with the sexual energies to heal them. Because I will not lie to you guys, I am experiencing multiple Kundalini activations, and sometimes I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fun, and it happens out of nowhere. Like it's oftentimes it'll happen in meditation or it'll happen during release, but it's quite powerful energy. And I think that the more that we start to awaken our Kundalini energy and allow that which is a divine power of creation that connects us to the divine. It is our ultimate connection to the divine. We really bring in a lot of alignment for ourselves. Also, before I go, I do want to say this. Another aspect of my healing through this trauma center is that I've allowed myself to connect with the emotions associated with the trauma that I know about and what I'm tuning into through past lives. It naturally just starts to release itself. So if you notice that you're starting to cry a lot, if you notice that you may have feelings of extreme terror, fear, maybe it's anger, whatever it is, resentment, whatever it is towards that's locked into this area, associated with this area, allow that energy to come through and feel it. Allow yourself to feel it in whatever way that it needs to happen so that it can get released. Because once that releases, it's now eliminated from your energy field, okay? And that, again, helps to unlock your abundance codes. So I hope that this information is really helpful to you guys. And know that once you start to do this healing, that it's going to become a lot more, it's going to be a lot easier for you to manifest things. And you're going to actually see that it divinely happens for you, sometimes without you even being aware of it. And it's truly amazing. And so I really hope that this information is helpful to you guys in you applying it into your own healing journey and your own lives so that you can not be controlled through this idea of lack consciousness and the matrix's idea of basically enslaving us into trauma-based energy. Okay, so that's basically it for today. You know, you guys, if you want to work with me in any capacity, I do have, I offer coaching on my website. All that information is in the description below. If you need any readings, again, too, I do those. Also, if you guys want to sign up to my newsletter, I have that on my website. I have my podcast out there, which is a really fun creation for me. It's a project that I love to do. And that is really fun. We talk about the spiritual journey. Lisa, Brian, and I have on fantastic guests. And also, guys, if you still want to come to Vegas with me next month, where I intend to be doing a lot more quantum healing, we are going to be at the Quantum Revolution Tour with Jessica Ahlstrom. Tickets are, I believe, tomorrow is the last day to get your 50% off the ticket. So all that information is in the description below, anything you need. So if any of you are interested in any of that, just go into the description below and you'll find all the information there. Guys, I love you so much. I really enjoying this journey and sharing it with you and having you guys all share it with me through the comments below. So please do not stop commenting. I try to get to as many comments as I can. And for those of you who are emailing me, if I haven't got back to you, it's just because things have been getting really, really busy because I've been unlocking my abundance codes and I'm just like getting a lot more emails coming in and I'm trying to stay as updated to them as possible. I will not ignore you. I will respond to you. Know that that is coming and I appreciate anyone who takes the time out to do that. I will honor you with giving you that time back. All right, everyone. I love you all. Have a wonderful day, and I'll be back with you all very soon.